Okay. As always, give me a second to fire this thing up, get it out on the other sections and portions of the internet, and then I will get to you. We got a quick little news thing here to start off, and then we'll get into the weekend at Dover. Obviously, Cup. Also had Xfinity. Trucks are coming back at Indianapolis. Obviously, they're not going to be at the big speedway, but they will be back at IRP. We will talk about that near the end of the stream. Hello, Sean. How are you? Almost ready. And should be good here any second. All right. I think I'm good to go. So, thank you for asking, Sean. I'm doing well. Good to see that you're doing good too. Hello, in between the lanes. I'm going to try to jump the gun on you here. Let me think. Trying to think of any outside the box paint schemes this week. David, hello. I'd have to go through the finishing results, but we'll get to the paint scheme here in a bit, I'm sure, in between the lanes. But yeah, Indy, it's just the oval. It's the normal Indianapolis that they run the Indy 500. Yes, in between the lanes, perfect, right on schedule. The Cheddar's Patriotic scheme looked great. I thought that was a great looking race car. But quick little bit of news here, more court stuff. I'm so excited to talk about this again. Hello, Brock. We are here to talk about the court case between 2311 Front Row, NASCAR. So, of course, last week, long story short, there was the thing that turned into the other thing. And essentially, Front Row and 2311 are not racing with charters because the argument was there's no irreparable harm towards the teams without charters, right? So NASCAR, the only way that there would be irreparable harm, according to the judge, would be if there was a threat for the teams to miss a race. Then in that case, they would reconsider it. The judge would reconsider it. They would re-vote on it. They would redo it. They would rethink the situation. Well, with them being open cars, of course, there's a possibility that there's 42 cars in a weekend. Well, NASCAR has rewritten the rule book to essentially guarantee that there is not a risk for 2311 and Front Row to miss the race at Indianapolis, Dover, or in the future. So, Part 1 of this rule says NASCAR at its sole discretion may elect to limit the number of entries for a race to 40. In such instances, open teams will be determined based on the team owner point standing. So essentially, I guess I'm looking up. You can't really see it. Now I think you can see it. So essentially what this means is this isn't limiting the amount of people who make the race because that's already cut off at 40. This is cutting off the entry list. This means NASCAR, at its sole discretion, can opt to tell teams, no, you don't get to be on the entry list this week. And they can determine it based off the team owner point standings, which, of course, Front Row and 2311, their full-time cars, will beat out every single part-time car that shows up, whether it's the 62, the 66, the 78, or someone else shows up with a part-time, like Jimmy Johnson in the 84 shows up. So that essentially kills any possibility of 2311 and Front Row getting that irreparable harm flipped. It later then goes on to say 4 open teams will be eligible. Starting grid positions based on the fastest single lap speed posted to each open team's vehicle, and that's normal. Up to 6 open teams will be eligible for starting grid positions based on the highest ranked team owner point standing. So, of course, there are now 6 cars without Chargers. I think that's how it works. I think my math is good there. So that would mean we went from 36 to 30, maybe. Math is hard. I think I did a better job explaining it a few seconds ago. So I'm ready to be done talking about this court case forever. We're done with it for now. If you got more questions, sure, I can attempt to answer. Cameron has a question about it. Who gets the money they would have got having charged? It's a fantastic question, Cameron. It's a purse, so somehow it gets divided up. I would assume that everyone else just kind of gets a pay bump in a sense. Instead of spreading out the wealth between 36 teams, essentially now you're only doing 30. So everyone else gets a little bit more cash, I'm assuming. Once again, I could be wrong on how that works. One of these days, I guess I could figure it out. But for now, I'm not 100% certain. Apologies, but yeah, it's complicated. Legal stuff, financial stuff. That stuff all scares me. Hello, Jamie. Welcome. David says, can William Byron be the first driver to win the Daytona 500 and Brickyard 400? I'm assuming you mean the same season. I don't know if that's ever happened. I'll take your word for it. We'll get to Indianapolis here in a bit. First, let's talk about Dover, as I have chopped off Denny Hamlin's head and shoulders. Denny Hamlin picked up his 4th win of the season. And also on the Xfinity side, Connor Zilisch picked up his 4th win of the season. It's the weekend of force, picking up your 4th win of the season. That is what Dover is all about, apparently. So, with that being said, obviously this is shuffled up. Not shuffled up. It's shot Denny Hamlin to the top of the playoff grid. We now have Denny Hamlin at the top. He has the most bonus points. He has 24 now. Larson is 23. And, of course, this is not counting the regular season standing. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, William Byron. Obviously, these guys are all going to get some sort of bonus points for finishing top 10 in the regular season points. One of these will get 15 beautiful playoff points, which is a lot. Especially if you're Elliott or Byron. They don't really have a lot. I mean, regardless of who it is, it's a lot of points. You want them. Point being that Denny Hamlin is added to his total. I don't really know what else to add on to that. I just need to throw that in there. But Denny Hamlin, another masterful drive at Dover, played defense perfectly. Obviously, to be a race car driver, you got to be able to play offense and defense. It's like most sports. I hate to compare NASCAR to a different sport, a stick and ball sport, but you need both a good offense and a good defense to win championships. Well, Denny Hamlin, obviously, we know his aggression level. We know what he's willing to do to win a race in terms of being on the attack. But in terms of defense, we know how good he is at playing defense. He showed it last year at Dover. He showed it this year at Dover. Much older tires, had a teammate hounding down on him in much fresher tires. Twice, by the way, both Bell and Briscoe. What else can we say about Denny Hamlin? The guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No question. He's got his 58th career win. He's got 4 wins this season alone. He's 44 years old. I mean, every year we're going to talk about it. Every time someone wins, we blow it out of proportion, say, this guy's the championship favorite now. And then when Denny Hamlin wins, we say that. And then a bunch of people on the internet make jokes because Denny Hamlin hasn't won a championship. But yeah, Denny Hamlin has added more bonus points to his name to advance through the playoffs. They're looking really good at this point of the season. And remember last year, Hamlin was really good to start off the year. Then April, they kind of fell off after April. They didn't win the rest of the season. They got eliminated in the round of 8. Didn't really do anything significant in terms of winning, running up front. Sure, they led some laps and whatever, but they didn't do anything significant. Whereas this year, they've been winning throughout the season. They won early. They won in kind of that early middle. They've won in the middle. And now they're winning kind of towards the early, late middle, if that makes sense to you. So they're winning more consistently. They're winning more across the board, across the schedule. So Denny Hamlin, once again, gets himself a win. Jamie, I got no idea what the situation is in Dover in terms of getting lights and all that. Lord, I couldn't tell you. all these there's a lot involved when it comes to a track adding lights, so that's above my brain. Yes, Ty Dillon has struck again. Ty Dillon, the 32 seed in this bracket challenge, last seed, he beats Denny Hamlin, who we just spoke about, to advance. Then he beats Brad Keselowski, a Cup Series champion. Alex Bowman, a multi-time Cup winner and Hendrick Motorsports driver, beats John Hunter Nemechek in the Final Four. And now Ty Dillon has a shot at winning the entire thing, winning $1 million. We talked about how much of an impact it would be for Ty Dillon to win this thing, for him personally, everything he's been through his career. But think about Kaulig Racing. Kaulig Racing 5 years ago, even 3 to 4 years ago, they were an Xfinity Series powerhouse. Okay, maybe they weren't winning as much as Gibbs, sure, but they were winning a lot of races. They were consistently making the Final Four. Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger. Did Ross Chastain make the Final Four one of those years in their Xfinity car? Point being, they won a lot of races. They were consistently contending for championships. They had a top-tier Xfinity team, and on top of that, they expanded to Cup. They won multiple Cup races with AJ Allmendinger. They seemed to have a pretty good driver in Justin Haley that would continue to build that team. And then it kind of, I hate to say fell apart, but it almost fell apart. Justin Haley goes to Rick Ware Racing. AJ Allmendinger is flipping back and forth between Cup and Xfinity. We see a bunch of random drivers in the 16 last year. We see Josh Williams in there, Ty Dillon's in there, SVG, Allmendinger. Like, we see this rotation of so many drivers, and all of a sudden, they're not running great in Cup. The only chance they have at winning is when they're on the road courses with AJ Allmendinger and SVG. And last year, their Xfinity program really took a dip. They won some road courses with SVG, no shock there. But outside of that, they didn't do much until AJ Allmendinger won that Las Vegas fall race to go to the championship 4. So Kaulig Racing's changed a lot just in the last 4 to 5 years. And think about how much of a big deal this would be for them to win with Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon, I don't think a lot of us had expectations heading into this year. Kaulig Racing, I don't think a lot of us had expectations heading into this year. Sure, you could have said AJ Allmendinger, he could win a road race and make himself eligible for the playoffs, but for the most part, we kind of looked at that and said, probably not, because now we got Shane Van Gisbergen in here, and he's the better road course racer, or at least he showed it last year when they were head-to-head in the same car in Xfinity. Like, maybe AJ Allmendinger doesn't have it in him, but Kaulig Racing has made kind of a step forward on the Cup side of things this year. Allmendinger's been running pretty darn consistent all around, not just the road courses. I mean, if we come over to the points, Allmendinger's 18th in points. Ty Dillon, sure, we go to the points. He's 30th. Only one top 10. He has led 8 laps, though, so I was wrong on that last night. He hasn't had a great season. It's not been a pretty season, but because of this in-season tournament, it gives us a chance to shed this light onto Ty Dillon, onto Kaulig Racing, what they are doing here, how impressive it is, and they got a shot at $1 million. So it's a fun story. It's an exciting story, if you ask me, and we'll see if he can do it. We'll, of course, make our Monday picks at the end of this thing to see if we think Ty Dillon can do it. Excuse me. He faces another Ty Gibbs. So, yeah. Don't really know what else to say on Ty Gibbs. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a huge deal for him. Like $1 million. He's yet to win the Cup Series. He's a great opportunity to not just get his first Cup Series win, but, you know, could you imagine Ty Gibbs wins his first Cup Series trophy and it's the in-season challenge and he has to beat Ty Dillon to win it? That'd be a hell of a story. Anywho. Yeah, Chase Elliott's strategy yesterday, I saw a bunch of people on the internet yelling about it. I mean, first of all, we got a new points leader, ladies and gentlemen. Chase Elliott now leads the points. William Byron has thrown away this regular season title. And don't get me wrong, he could come back and win it, but William Byron had like a 70-something point lead. Maybe it was in the 80s. They had more than a race lead at one point, and then they hit this rough stretch. They didn't have a crash. They ran out of fuel on Michigan on the last lap. They crashed at Chicago, or they had a mechanical failure at Chicago. They crashed at Atlanta. They just had a really bad string of races here. And then they crashed yesterday at Dover. And all of a sudden, he's sitting behind Chase Elliott in points. And Chase Elliott, a few weeks ago, we were talking about, like, man, what's their problem? Sure, they're top 5 in the points. That's great. But they haven't shown winning speed. They haven't led a lot of laps. Like, what's up with that? And then all of a sudden, here we are, almost the end of July. Elliott's got a win. He's got a stage win. He's more than doubled his laps led. I think he's tripled his laps led since Mexico. So they have found something, it seems. Both of the chases, like Chase Briscoe's been on a little bit of a good run here. We know how good he's been in qualifying, but he started to put the race results together. They've led some laps, put themselves in contention for wins. Obviously won Pocono. But Chase Elliott, like, leading a bunch of laps at Atlanta, winning that race. Top 5 at Pocono, top 5 at Mexico, top 5 at Sonoma. And then here we are once again. He had winning speed, dominated the race at Dover. Obviously, things didn't go their way because of a weird strategy call to take 2 tires. But they've really hit their stride here. And if you remember, 2022, that Chase Elliott, the last time he was at this level, 2023 and 2024, they never found this. But 2022, if you remember, they went on a hot streak in the summer. I think they won Nashville, Atlanta. They might have won Pocono. They got the disqualification Pocono win. They won 3 races over that summer stretch, added to their playoff point total. I think they had like 5 or 6 straight top 5s. That's what the 9 team feels like right now. That 2022 summer stretch, that's what they feel like right now. They look borderline unstoppable, and I know they're not winning a bunch of races as of this moment, but they put themselves in position over the last few weeks. You could argue, Sonoma, if everyone keeps it together, Elliott on the fresh tires, might have a chance to challenge SVG there late. If they stay out at Dover for the last 50-something laps, or if they take 4 tires and the tires truly made a difference, you could argue he wins at Dover too, but hypotheticals get confusing. You don't want to go through that. The fact of the matter is they did not win those races, but the point being they are putting themselves in the right position. They used to kind of be 6th to 10th, and then they put themselves in position to get a top 5. Well, now they're running top 5, putting themselves in position to win, or they're in winning position, and they put themselves in position to throw it away. So, if that makes sense to you. Clausen Z, hello, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Nee, yeah, somewhat interesting weekend. The rain kind of spiced it up, I guess. Yeah, but even with the Elliott pit crew stumble, they were able to overcome it. They were able to get the lead back, and once again, they pulled like a 3-second lead, and I think Hamlin was able to kind of reel them back in and close the gap back just a little bit down to a second and a half. But as long as Elliott had that track position, it seemed like he was the guy to beat. So, I mean, track position was just so key yesterday. Jamie thinks one of the chases will take the Roval. Yeah, I'm giving Shane Van Gisbergen the Kyle Busch Truck Series treatment, which is I'm not betting or picking against him until he gives me a reason to pick against him after what he did at Sonoma. And Chicago was expected. Mexico was kind of expected. But after what he did at Sonoma, yeah, I'm not picking anyone unless he gives me a reason. Cameron brings up a fantastic point. Josh Berry and Austin Cindric being in the playoffs with only 1 and 2 top 5s respectively. So this has been a debate. Of course, there was the whole, does Shane Van Gisbergen deserve to be in the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. And people will counter with Josh Berry and Austin Cindric. First of all, the rules are the rules, I guess. You guys know how I feel about the playoffs. I'm not a fan of the playoffs. Whatever. Let's move on. Austin Cindric had a fantastic start to the season. He was top 10 in points. He got a 50-point penalty for intentionally wrecking. Ty Dillon, Austin Cindric. Little did we know at the time. Austin Cindric intentionally wrecking Ty Dillon. That triggered this mid-postseason run. This mid-season run by Ty Dillon to get himself to the championship of the in-season challenge. If anything, a portion of that check should go to Austin Cindric for the motivation. But seriously, they get that 50-point penalty, but without it, they were running top 10 in the points. They were running up there with Ryan Blaney with Joey Logano consistently in the top 10, leading a bunch of laps. They've led 251 laps this season. They've had a great year, but then kind of just started to fall off. Let's go to Austin Cindric's stat profile here. Austin Cindric, Talladega. Oh my. Talladega is his last top 5, and that was a win. His last top 10 is Pocono. Since that okay, so when we look at the first part of the schedule, okay, he had a DNF at Atlanta, but he was contending for the win. He was running second place when he ended up wrecking, I believe, if I remember correctly, but had a top 10 in the Daytona 500, a top 10 at Vegas, an intermediate track, a great result for him. And look at the qualifying efforts in all these races. Front row, second row, top 10 at Homestead. Sure, the race result wasn't great, but they were showing speed. Top 15 at Darlington. Great starting position once again. Talladega, we already know how good he is there. Good qualifying effort at Texas, but not a great race result. But they won a stage. I forgot that they had won a stage. Him and Josh Berry, they showed a lot of speed. And of course, Joey Logano won that Texas race. So when we go through these results here, up to Texas, everything was looking really good for Penske outside of Blaney. Of course, Blaney has continued his consistency. But since Texas, Penske, especially Berry and Cindric, have just been off. I mean, look at these race results. And even the qualifying. We just pointed out how good Cindric's been in qualifying, but look at everything else. I mean, 13th at Kansas isn't bad. 14th at Charlotte, 16th at Nashville. It's all kind of, in the same region, in the same place. But then 20th at Mexico, 19th at Pocono, 27th at Chicago. Atlanta, okay, that's normal. That's expected for Penske at Atlanta, but 24th at Sonoma, 26th at Dover, and then we go to the race results, and it doesn't get any better. 11th at Kansas isn't bad. Okay. 31st at Charlotte, don't remember what happened there. 18th at Nashville when your teammate won. 31st at Michigan. 18th at Mexico. Okay, top 10 at Pocono. That's good. That's good. Of course, Atlanta, we know what happened there. 27th at Chicago. 30th is just this. It's not falling apart, but it's gone the wrong way for Austin Cindric. And Cameron, I think it was Cameron? Yes, Cameron. Cameron also brought up Josh Berry. So Cindric had a great first quarter of the season. Maybe even first third of the season, you could argue. Well, Josh Berry had a smaller burst. He had a great first eighth of the season, I would say. Yeah. When we come to Josh Berry's stat profile, it's all over the place. Obviously, they had a couple really good runs early in the season. Great qualifying, the Penske qualifying at Atlanta. They won a stage at Atlanta. They had a lot of speed there. But then we come to Phoenix, kind of a short track, which is where Josh Berry is expected to shine. Qualifies top 5, finishes top 5. Vegas was the shocker. Qualifies top 10, which, okay, that's fine. But then he goes on and wins it on pure pace. And sure, there was some strategy in there, but, they had to go past Tyler Reddick, who's great at Vegas, and hold off Daniel Suarez, or past Daniel Suarez, too, I think. I mean, truly, what in the world happened there? And then they qualify front row at Homestead, and then that's kind of where things went south. They showed a lot of speed at Kansas. I remember that race. He had to drive from the back to the front. They were leading a bunch of laps at Texas before he wrecked out of the lead. Talladega, they had speed, obviously. Penske, once again, great at the super speedways, but since then, it's kind of been all over the place. 28th at Dover, 13th at Sonoma, which is great for Berry on a road course, if we're being honest. Chicago, Atlanta, I mean, just all over the place for Berry, and that's why Berry and Cindric now are 19th and 22nd in the points. So I feel like we might have talked about that a little bit too long. But yeah, they've been on a cold streak recently, or they've at least been kind of just inconsistent all over the place after starting the year really well. I mean, look at this. Berry's led 169 laps this year. That's more than, if we come up here with, that's more than Alex Bowman. That's more than Tyler Reddick, who was in the championship 4 last year. Chris Busch, that's more than 5 times more than Buescher, if I did that math correctly. More than Ross Chastain, more than triple Ross Chastain, who's won a race this year. I mean, statistically, they've had a pretty good season, but things have just kind of fallen off a little bit as of late. Let's see here. Yeah, Jamie, Logano and Chastain just can't get away from each other. Pastel Ninja K, which team, not driver, has exceeded your expectations that you had before the start of the year? That's a fantastic question, Pastel Ninja K. Which team? I mean, if we want to go back to Colleague, obviously, I think the expectations were so low for Colleague heading into this year because if we go through the list here, Hendrick, this is expectation. Gibbs, expectations. 2311 has not met expectations, in my opinion. Penske has been a little bit below expectations. RFK's been around expectations. RCR, not really. Spire, I would say expectations they've met because there was a lot of hype behind Spire heading into this year, if you remember. Rodney Childers was on the 7. That did not last long. But Michael McDowell was coming in with his crew chief Travis Peterson, veteran experience. Carson Hocevar, a very talented young race car driver, and they've had shots at wins. Michael McDowell about won Texas. Carson Hocevar about won Atlanta. So they've had their opportunities. They've had those not rare, but those random moments where like, oh my gosh, they're contenders. They could get a win here. So I would say that's about what we expected because we didn't expect them to show up this year and be top 10 in the points, top 5 in the points, like beating Hendrick consistently. Like I would say they've met expectations, but like Allmendinger and Colleague have kind of surprised me. Like I thought Allmendinger would be 22nd to 25th of the points, show up at a road course and compete for a win, maybe a super speedway, but Allmendinger's had some top 10 speed at some intermediates, at some short tracks. They're 18th in the points. I mean, they've had a pretty good season. Sure, Ty Dillon's down here in 30th, but as you said, with expectations, like I didn't have any expectations for Ty Dillon in the second Colleague car that was pretty bad. Like Colleague was pretty bad last year. So Colleague, I guess, is my answer for you. But once again, that's probably because we're fresh off of talking about them. Maybe Legacy. Legacy was so bad last year too, and they're 20th, 21st in the points. John Hunter Nemechek had that streak of top 10s, like 3 straight top 10s. So it's got to be Legacy or Colleague for me. Those two teams have exceeded my expectations. King 601 says 54 on a roll. Yeah, the 54 has been on a roll if we want to go to his stats this year. The average finish is getting better. I mean, the start of the year was not good for him. I mean, it took him forever to get a single-digit finish. Darlington 9th, 3rd at Bristol. Great result for him. But kind of went through another streak of not great. But then Michigan hit. Since Michigan, their worst finish is 14th. They've been incredible. Runner-up at Chicago. Top 10 at Sonoma. Top 5 at Dover. You could argue that this Mexico finish should have been better. They led a bunch of laps in that that race, excuse me. Could have won Michigan, but they were a little, I guess, I don't know if too conservative is the right word to put, but, you know, estimating the fuel, they ended up making it by a good bit. So, yeah, they've been on a really good streak since that Michigan race. So, yeah, 54 has been on a roll, as you said. Clausen, yeah. Penske just has not been great as of late because Logano was up decently in the top 10 in the points. Blaney was kind of in contention for top 5 in the points, but now look how far he is. He's more than a race out, 40 plus 24. Yeah, that's more than a race out of the top 5 of points. So Blaney's kind of fallen back a bit. Despite, I mean, look at this. He has more stage points than Bell. He has more stage points than Reich. He has more stage points than Hamlin. Larson, he might have the second most stage points this year. So Blaney's problem is the DNFs. 7 DNFs through 21 races. A third of the races he's DNF. That's disgusting. Obviously, some of them have not been his fault. The engine has blown at Homestead, for example. But, I mean, they should be having a better year. this number is single-handedly killing them. I mean, they got 9 playoff points. They got a race win. They got 4 stage wins. I mean, they've had the speed at times. It's just, as I said, those DNFs are just killing that team. But as for Logano, regular season Logano has not been a thing since 2020. Logano, I think, won 3. Jamie, I'm going to need your help here. I don't think Penske or Logano has won 3 regular season races in a season since 2020. He might have done it in 2022. I don't think he's had like an elite regular season since 2020. And by elite, I mean like 3+ wins, top 5 in points. Obviously, the playoffs are a different story. Joey Logano shows up in the playoffs. The 22 team shows up in the playoffs. They are the benchmark for the playoffs, showing up, advancing through the rounds, and then obviously they get to Phoenix, and they're the best team at Phoenix. Like, we know how that goes, as Lindsay says here, but the last 3 years tells us not to count out Penske. It's a fantastic point because of how well they do in the playoffs. So, the last time Logano had an elite regular season, I would say, was 2020. Well, Jamie, 2018 was one of Logano's best year. He had 5 or 6 wins that year. He beat the big 3. But I'm saying like the regular season, the first 26 races, I think 2020 was the last time Logano had 3+ wins in the regular season, the first 26 races. I'm going to go to his racing reference profile real quick, and I'm going to update you. I will tell you what I find. Joey Logano. We know that Cindric's kind of been like 12th to 17th in the points, even a little bit further back, but he gets a win, so he gets in the playoffs. But Logano, oh my goodness, this is worse than I thought. He only had 1 win in 2023. I couldn't even tell you where that was. Atlanta, maybe. He only had 1 win in 2021. Bristol Dirt. Bristol Dirt was his only win in 2021. So he didn't win in a regular racetrack in 2021. 2019, he only won 2 races. So 2020, he only won 3 races. So 2020 might not... Okay, so he won at Vegas in the spring. He won at Phoenix in the spring. And then he won at Kansas in the fall. So he only won 2 races in the regular season in 2020. In 2022, when he won the championship... He won at Darlington in the spring. He won at Gateway. And then his other 2 wins, Vegas and Phoenix, those were in the fall. So he has not won 3, because all of his wins were in the playoffs last year with the exception of Nashville. I know that for a fact. He has not won 3 regular season. He only had 3 Has he not won 3 regular season races since 2015? Are we really about to discover that right now? Okay, he won at Talladega in 2018 spring. He didn't win again until the playoffs when he won at Martinsville and Homestead. Oh my goodness, we are about to make a startling discovery here on the Monday after. 2016, he won 3 races. Michigan. That was it in the regular season. He won at Talladega and Phoenix in the fall. It's 2015. 2015. Oh my goodness. And oh my goodness again. He did not win 3 races in the regular season. Oh, yes, he did. Nope, just kidding. Daytona, Watkins Glen, Bristol in 2015. Okay. So Joey Logano has not won 3 or more regular season races in a decade. A decade. Once again, we know how elite that team and that driver are when it comes down to it in the playoffs, but the fact that they haven't won 3+ in the regular season in a decade, that is a stat I did not think we would discover tonight. Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, Jamie, as you said, I think he only focuses on the playoffs and the Cup Trophy versus an entire season putting together an elite season. I'm going to say it that way. An elite season. I mean, remember 2015 Logano? Woof. He was on a tear. He was terrorizing people. He got it back from Matt Kenseth. Sorry, Logano fans, but I mean, 2015 I think was the best year of Logano. Won 6 races. I don't know how the Winston Cup points would have played out, but he probably would have won the championship that year, either him or Harvick, if I had to guess. But, yeah. Yeah, Pastel Ninja K. Putting Gabe Hart in the 54 team, that has been a huge benefit for them. I think Tyler Allen is technically still the crew chief there. We can remind me when we get to the entry list for Indy to look at that. But, yeah, that has obviously significantly improved that team because it was about Michigan when they did that. And, well, since Michigan, the 54 team's been on a tear. And, obviously, that's the only car at Joe Gibbs Racing not in the playoffs. So, yeah. Yeah, Lindsay, and the thing that's so confusing about that is that last year, the 22 didn't win till July. They didn't win till that Nashville race with the fuel mileage. So it's not like they had a win in the bag. They could mess around during the summer and then show up in the playoffs. They were 15th in the points and they didn't win till July. Like, they were pretty irrelevant for the first half of 2024. And then they get that Nashville win. Then, as you said, they probably started prepping for the playoffs, realized the position they were in, and then they started popping off. They go and they win at Vegas. They go and they win at... Where else did they win at last year? Don't tell me it was only Vegas and Phoenix. Surely they won somewhere else. All right, well, they only had 3 wins, if I remember. I just had a stat profile. I could just, Joey Logano. Okay, there it is. Okay, they had 4 wins. What win am I forgetting for Logano? Nashville. Atlanta. I was there. I am such an idiot. He literally did his burnout like 20 feet in front of me. God, I'm stupid. Yeah, of course, Atlanta. He wins the playoff opener at Atlanta. Gets the disqualification in the second round, wins at Vegas, wins at Phoenix. Oh, God, I'm so stupid. Why are the comments not showing up? Oh, that worked. Okay, cool. Yeah, Lindsay, yeah, I see your comment now. Yeah, I'm dumb. I forgot about Atlanta. Was literally, like, at the start-finish line. No, Jamie, that's the irony. He did all that winning in 2015, doesn't even get to the championship 4. And then, you look at 2020, you look at 2018, you look at 2024, and he didn't do all this winning in the regular season, but he won late, and he's the champion both of those years because of the format. So, as Lindsay said, like, he shows up when it matters. That team shows up when it matters, and they take advantage of it. Like, they do what they're supposed to do. So it's impressive what that team can do in the last 10 races. It's extremely impressive. It's just, you wish they could do more, I guess. So, yeah. Anywho. We went on this random side tangent about Team Penske and their struggles during the regular season. Cindric and I know that Barry's the Wood brothers, but come on now. That's a Penske car. Jamie, thanks for the reminder. I didn't even bring up last night that it was Logano's 600th start. So Logano's 600 starts. He's got 30-something wins, 3 championships. I'm very curious to see what he's going to do in the playoffs this year because you got to remember, Joey Logano doesn't perform in even-numbered years or odd-numbered years. He only shows up in even-numbered years. So is he going to break that trend this year? That's the question I got. And, this playoff schedule this year is perfect for Team Penske. Perfect. Right off the bat, you got Darlington, decent track for him. Blaney almost won there in the spring. Logano won there a couple of years ago. I think we just saw that Barry crashed there in the spring, but he was doing great up to that point. I think he was top 5, and I think Cindric scored its top 10 there. Then we got Gateway, where they're defending winners. They should have had a 1-2 finish. Logano won there a couple of years ago. And then we go to Bristol. Bristol, next gen era hasn't been great, but Blaney got a top 5 there in the spring. And then we go to the second round, Kansas, which has been a decent track for Blaney and Logano. Cindric, I think, was top 10 there in the spring. And then once again, Barry had a lot of speed there in the spring. Then we go to New Hampshire, another flat, short track. Once again, it's a Team Penske, whatever you want to call it, Team Penske coded track. And the Roval, I would say, is the biggest hiccup for him because Cindric has struggled on the road courses this year. Logano's never been a great road racer, though he could pop off a top 10, you never know. And then Blaney's kind of hit or miss. Barry is bad at the road courses, no other way to put it. But if all 4 of those cars can get into the Elite 8, like, oh my God. Vegas, which is a track that Penske is very good at. Logano won there last year. Blaney's always had speed there. Cindric and Barry had speed there in the spring. I mean, oh my goodness. Talladega, where those 4 cars just absolutely obliterate everyone until they get wrecked or they survive and they win. And then Martinsville. Blaney's won the last 2 fall Martinsville races. Logano's won there before. Cindric's had decent run, and then Barry's a short track expert. If those 4 cars make the Elite 8, oh my goodness, it could be over for everyone else. So, yeah. Best crew chief driver pairing to not win the championship in the past decade. Ooh. Well, technically Harvick and Childers, because their championship was 2014. Hamlin, Gabehart, you would think would be the top, right off the top of my head. Maybe Harvick, Childers, just because their only championship was 2014. I would say those would be my top 2. I would argue recency bias. You could throw in Bell and Adam Stevens. They've won a ton of races. They've made 3 or 4 championship 4s. I would say those are my top 3 off the top of my head because obviously Larson Daniels, that's eliminated because they won a championship. Elliott Gustafson, that's eliminated because they won a championship. I would say Byron Fugel's top 5 since they've made the last couple of championship 4s. But Blaney, Hassler, they've got a championship. And then going on down, I mean, just kind of, I hate to say it this way, but the quality kind of drops off. So I would go Gabehart, Hamlin 1, Harvick, Childers 2, just because that only championship was 2014 and you specified the past decade. 3, I would go Bell Stevens. 4, I would go Byron Fugel. 5th, don't care. You can go fight over it. Yeah, no, let's make a road course the championship. Yeah, NASCAR fans would not overreact to that at all, Sean. How old is... Oh, my goodness. You're going to make me Google someone's age. Oh, boy. Roger Penske. My guess is 87. I think you got him too old. Okay, why are you... There's a pop-up. Oh, I was close. He's 88. I was close. Oh, my goodness. His net worth is $5.9 billion. Dude, you got $1 million you want to spare? Roger Penske, you got $1 million you want to spare over here? $5.9 billion. Jesus. Woo. Anywho, remember when you could actually organize an order of laps led? I remember that. I say it every week at this point. I don't know how much NASCAR's worth. That's a fantastic point, though, Jamie. Could he buy NASCAR? I don't think NASCAR would sell unless he showed up with like $100 billion. Because I don't think NASCAR would want... I don't know. I think NASCAR would find a way to But I don't think they really want to let go right now. That's a whole separate topic. There's that lawsuit, though, so that's not fun anymore. I remember the initial thrill of the lawsuit. It was like, oh, this is so exciting. It's something different. And then it just kind of was like, okay, can this stop now? This is getting annoying. Christopher Bell picked up his first playoff point since March when he won Phoenix. Remember, Bell won 3 races in a row in like the first 5 races of the season. And we were like, oh my gosh, Christopher Bell revenge tour after everything that went down at Phoenix last year, or Martinsville last year. And like, oh my God, he's going to kill everyone this year. He's going to have like 12 wins at the end of the season. He's going to lead 3,000 laps. It's so over for everyone. Well, it's not quite to 3,000 laps. Not quite on pace to get 12 wins. Once again, I'm just throwing numbers out there. That's not actually what we said. They've had like a burst of speed where they'll show up, have some pretty good pace, but like Darlington, 3rd. Okay. Martinsville, runner-up to teammate Denny Hamlin. All right. 2nd at Kansas. Cool. All-Star race win. That was a big one. Doesn't come with any playoff points, though. 2nd at Mexico to Shane Van Gisbergen by like 17 seconds. So, like, okay, you're 2nd best at a road course this year. That's basically winning if you're not Shane Van Gisbergen. So, Christopher Bell with like a de facto win, if you want to call it that. 5th at Sonoma. Great. Dover picked up a playoff point. They finished 18th, but, led a bunch of laps. So, I don't really know what else to say there. I feel like I'm just kind of randomly going through some people's stat profiles. So, speaking of some stat profiles, oh boy, guess who didn't suck in fantasy yesterday? This guy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I checked the leaderboard because I was so confident in my roster this week. I was first place. First place, ladies and gentlemen. And this was at the beginning of stage 3. And I said, what could go wrong? How in the world could this go wrong? My guys are running 1st through 5th. They've scored all of the stage points. There is literally no way, and Christopher Bell is spinning out of the lead. Okay. Sorry, something shiny. Yeah, so I thought my fantasy team was dead, but then all of a sudden he rallies back, he comes back to the lead and just to wreck himself again. So, good job for me not benching anyone for Ryan Preece, because Ryan Preece did not score any stage points. He only had 18 points total. Alex Bowman, 49 points. What a great usage of Alex Bowman. Larson, 40 points. Great usage of Larson after his kind of cold spell. He had a great day. Christopher Bell, okay, the place points should have been better, but unfortunately he had an obsession with spinning yesterday. Chase Elliott, beautiful usage of him yesterday. Denny Hamlin, perfect usage of him. Oh, my God. I'm so proud of myself. I didn't even win, and I'm like crying over this. I got a podium. So beautiful. Yes, I got a podium. I don't have like a Pirelli podium cap, but just imagine that this is a podium hat. Okay. 75. Not only is it the 75th anniversary of Darlington this year, that's how many races it took me to get a podium this season. So yeah, Dunkin' Donuts is our winner. Everyone, round of applause for Dunkin' Donuts. Good job by Dunkin' Donuts to pick up another win. Is there a way to see the winners this year, like how many people have won? Oh, I can do this. So Dan the Jets fan's a winner. Zerkman95 is a winner. Nee, hey, Nee, you're here. You won a race. You won at, where is this? Atlanta? I think this is Atlanta. Nee, you won at Atlanta. Congratulations, my friend. Klaus Van Gissenbergen, that's one of our championship contenders, won at Pocono. Mexico, expat _ Kiwi _ Mike _ Wallace was a winner. I guess I'm covering up the results. Apologies. Let's go to... Oh, look, I got a top 10. Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, yeah, Dunkin' Donuts. Is that who won this week? Dunkin' Donuts won at Michigan, and Dunkin' Donuts won this week. Okay, so Dunkin' Donuts is indeed a multi-time winner. Tyler Hernandez, 6-1 at Nashville. Oh, I got a podium at Charlotte. Hey, good job, me. RT Racing won at Charlotte. The Coca-Cola 600 crown jewel to RT Racing's name. Kansas, expat _ Kiwi _ Mike _ Wallace with another win. If we go to race 11, that was at Texas. Hey, top 10. Dunkin' Donuts, another win. Dunkin' Donuts, I'm pretty sure, is our points leader right now. We'll look at the points in a minute, but I just want to go through, tell everyone who has won races this year. Then we go to Talladega. Tritech got a win there. Oh, I finished 22nd. That's pretty bad. Kyle Larson got the most points at Talladega. What odd world we live in. Ooh, expat _ Kiwi _ Mike _ Wallace with another win. One at Bristol. I had Larson in my garage that race. God, I'm an idiot. Ugh. I was at that race. That's my excuse there. If I put Larson in my starting lineup, it would have been so over. Anywho, too late. Dunkin' Donuts won at Darlington. Great job there. Man, what a horrid lineup I had at Darlington. Oh, no. I had Brad, Briscoe, and Bear. Oh, disgusting. That explains why I'm so low in the points. 0 Apex won at Martinsville. Matt Smith 53 won at Homestead, I believe. Yeah, Homestead. This is Vegas. Dr. Zero was our winner. Good job by Dr. Zero. At Phoenix, Klaus Van Gissenbergen was our winner. At Coda, why does it not show a winner? Hello? I guess no one won at Coda, apparently. So expat _ Kiwi _ Mike _ Wallace. Congrats. Or maybe okay, someone didn't win there. Aussie Matt won at Atlanta. And then the Daytona 500 champion was David Jerry, 24 fan. So there's all our winners from this year. Now let's go to the league standings. Dunkin' Donuts, our points leader by 18 whole points over Klaus Van Gissenbergen, who says, if Bell and Byron didn't wreck at the end, I had them both. Well, darn. Klaus and Z is unfortunate. Uh-oh, we got a change in the standings. Expat _ Kiwi _ Mike _ Wallace has slipped this week and has fallen to 4th in our standings. Zerkman95 has taken over that final podium position. Look at Dan the Jets fan. Remember, we were doubting him, talking about this championship hangover, had fallen to like 10th in the points. Like, ugh. Back up to 5th in the points, less than 300 out of the points lead. Never know, man. You never know. Matt Smith, 53. Then we got Fantastic Priest, RT Racing, Aussie Matt, 0 Apex. That's our top 10. Then we got Hell on Wheels, 24. Tyler Hernandez, 6. Micah MLB, 15. I have moved up to 14th in the standings. A top 15 in the points. I will take it. Oscar Dave, Dr. Zero, Crackler, Nee, Jamie, who, by the way, if you did not know, is a lifelong Logano fan. David Jerry, 24 fan, Sportswagon, Hack Dash House, Tritech, Space Wrangler Racing, Supercar Nut, JTF526, Rebutted, and a bunch of people who have not submitted their entries. I saw we had a new entry. I think it's Team Kiwi Racing. Team Kiwi Racing, set your lineup next week if you are watching this. I mean that in a friendly way. So, anywho, that is our fantasy league. Feel free to join if you would like. I don't think we're ready for that yet. Yes, congratulations, Nee. I don't even remember where you won, but you won a race. Congratulations. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of what we could talk about here. Pardon me. Make sure to stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. So we talked about. We could go. Let's look at Xfinity. So Connor Zilisch is on a hot streak, man. Connor Zilisch has 4 wins this season now, which is the most in the Xfinity series. And let me make sure I got his birthday right. For the last time ever, I can say this. Connor Zilisch is only 18 years old. Tomorrow he turns 19, and he is the leader in wins in the Xfinity series. What? If we come back over here to the standings, flip this baby to Xfinity. First of all, Justin Allgaier, he had a big championship lead just like William Byron, and he has not choked it away because he still has about a race lead. But if Connor Zilisch continues this absolute tear he has, that is going to get close. I mean, Zilisch has just been killing it. He's got the second most laps led. He has the most playoff points now. He's the most wins. Not the most top 5s, not the most top 10s. And does Allgaier have 6? How many stage wins is that? 6 playoff points based off that. Point being, Zilisch has just been on a tear recently. He's second in point. And you got to remember, he missed a race. He missed a whole race. A whole race. And he's in contention for the regular season title. I mean, just unbelievable. Him and Hamlin are both in contention with missing a race. But, Denny Hamlin, future Hall of Famer, Joe Gibbs racing, blah, 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 blah. Connor Zilisch, yes, he's in JRM equipment, but he's 18 years old for one more day. So Zilisch is just killing it. And the mind-blowing thing is that, we expected him to do really good on the road courses. Wins at COTA, probably should have won at Mexico, wins at Sonoma. But it's the ovals that he's won at. It hasn't been a super speedway like a Talladega or Daytona. It hasn't been like a pretty basic track like a Kansas or a Vegas. It's been at Pocono and Dover, 2 of the most unique ovals we have. Just, all right, sure. Why not, Connor Zilisch? Go crazy. Go crazy, man. Connor Zilisch is just killing it. So, yeah, he's probably going to get promoted to Cup. I don't know when that announcement's going to happen. Probably soon, you would think. I mean, everyone knows it. I just don't know when. I don't know. Maybe they announce it at Watkins Glen right before his second ever road course start in the Cup Series. Yeah, Lindsay, I mean, there is obviously that kind of hesitation. Connor Zilisch is killing it in the Xfinity Series. He's doing a great job. You don't want to elevate him too quickly, and, a lot can happen. But, I mean, he hasn't had any kind of slump. He didn't have the greatest start to the season, sure, but he won at COTA. That got him into the playoffs, and then he hurt his back, and I don't know what happened in that crash, but it gave him superpowers, apparently, because he's had like a 2.2 average finish since that crash. Usually back injuries have the opposite effect. Like, it ruined Bowman's 2023 season. It ruined Denny Hamlin's 2013 season. It ruined Eric Almirola's 2017 season. Connor Zilisch hurts his back, and he goes off and rips off 3 wins, runs up to second in the points, and has an average finish of 2.2 since the entry. I mean, either they gave him some insane medicine that we don't know about, or that hit actually did the opposite of hurting him. Like, wow. Just wow on Connor Zilisch, as we have been saying for his entire very short career. So, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think Connor Zilisch is going to win Rookie of the Year in the Xfinity Series. I don't even know who the other rookies are, but I think he's going to get it. Carson Kvapil's, he's technically a rookie, I think. Taylor Gray's a rookie, I think. Nick Sanchez is a rookie, but, I mean, Zilisch should theoretically beat all of them. We can look at the playoff picture for Xfinity. Obviously, we got all our winners. Sam Mayer's in. I didn't even know he was in third in the points until we actually got on here. Carson Kowapel, he should be in. Sheldon Creed's feeling good, but a couple new winners could blow that up. But it's not like Cup. It's not like Cup where we could see Michael McDowell win on a road course, where we could see A.J. Allmendinger win a road course, where we could see anyone win at Daytona. We could see Josh Berry win at a short track. I know he already has a win, but it's not like we can go and pick apart. Like Ryan Sieg, I would say, is the biggest X factor. Like he could go and win almost anywhere, it feels like. Like they just randomly show up sometimes, like Texas last year, and they have these really good intermediate runs or these really good super speedway runs. Most of these guys, I would say their only chance is a super speedway, with the exception of Clements, who sometimes is a really good road racer, but as long as Zilisch is in there, I don't see Jeremy Clements beating him. Williams Sawalich is a bit of an odd case because they had such a bad start to the year, but the last few weeks they've really put it together. They've got 2 or 3 straight top 10s. Third place at Sonoma. A third place at Sonoma. Like, if they start putting it together, that's a Joe Gibbs Racing car. I guess theoretically you couldn't count them out if they truly start figuring it out, but they have to win. That's the only problem. But everyone else, like Ryan Ellis, his only chance is a super speedway. Kyle Sieg, super speedway. Retzlaff, Perkins, DiBenedetto, Alfredo, Josh Williams, Brennan Poole, Daniel Dye, Christian Eckes, Dean Thompson. Like their only chance is a super speedway. So Harrison Burton, keep doing what you're doing, try to outpoint your cousin, and we'll see. No, Jamie. Yeah, it's insane. I mean, Connor Zilisch is. I was thinking about this the other day, like, and I got to be careful of how I say this because, you know, I became a fan in 2010 when I was 10 years old, so I did not understand how everything worked, and I would say I really have not understood how everything works until about 2020, 2021. Like, that's when I really started paying attention to, like, not just the Cup Series, but the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, paying attention to the young drivers coming up through the ranks, like the highly regarded prospects. Like, looking back, I remember Kyle Larson was a big deal, but I had no idea what it meant. I just remembered, oh, everyone brings up that name, so he must be really good. Chase Elliott replaced Jeff Gordon. I remember hearing his name a couple of times. Like, he won the Xfinity Championship. I remember that. Outside of that, from like 2010 to 2020, though, I just don't remember much talk of big name prospects. So once again, this is probably a poor example of me saying this, but like Connor Zilisch is like the biggest prospect I can remember in terms of the hype, the expectation, what he's actually done in the Xfinity Series. Like, it's incredible what he's done. The expectation, the hype it's real. He's meeting the hype. He's meeting the expectation. So in terms of what, once again, like, I'm not a good reference point for this, but Connor Zilisch is, as you said, kind of the shooting star in terms of the young prospect. You know, everyone talked about how to go outside of NASCAR to compare him to another Red Bull driver, Max Verstappen, how highly regarded he was before he got to F1, and then what he ended up becoming. So obviously it's too early to tell if Connor Zilisch is going to go and do all that, but he's an extremely talented driver, and if Trackhouse can guide him the right direction, they can develop him the right way in a timely manner, he could become something big. But we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, I guess. Are we ready for Monday picks, ladies and gentlemen? Are we ready? Monday picks? Anyone? Give it a minute, see if anyone else is ready. All right, and Between the Lanes is ready. That's all I needed to hear. Monday picks. Indianapolis. We have a triple header. However, it is not all at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Truck Series is at IRP, the short track kind of close to Indianapolis. I don't know the actual distance, and that's a lot of math. So let's go through the list. Let's talk about the notable entries. Jason Alexander. I've not seen that name a lot. So in the 02 truck. Norm Benning is in the field this week. First Monday pick, Norm Benning is getting a top 30 this week. That's my first Monday pick. Corey Day is in the 7 truck. Brendan Queen is in the 07 truck. Short track expert, I believe. He's in ARCA as well. Coming down here through the list. Jordan Anderson's in the, is that a 20? Yeah, it's a 20. Yeah, okay. Math is hard. Greg Van Alst is in the 35 truck. Raj Chastain is in the 44 truck at IRP. Coming down through the list once again. Luke Finhouse in the 66. The 125-year-old, is in the 74 truck. That's it for notable entries. So everyone make your pick for the truck series race at IRP. Once again, not the big Indianapolis. This is the IRP short track a few miles away. Pastel Ninja K says Heim time. Jamie says Frankie Muniz. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him. Nee is going to follow it up. Say Frankie Muniz. What do you guys know that I don't? Don't get me wrong. I do not know a lot. But I feel like I know a little bit. Cameron's going to go with Ross Chastain. Okay. Anyone else? Truck Series picks. Truck Series picks. Nash Truck Night in America on Friday. The T-Sport 200, according to this. Isn't that Thor Sport? Pretty sure it's like the Thor Sport sponsored race. Heim says in between the lanes. Hein says David. Love the typos. In between the lanes, corrected himself. Heim. Nee says with trucks I know nothing, so usually pick either the one with the funniest name or Frankie. Fun fact, Australians and New Zealanders, if you're watching this, SVG made a truck start at IRP a couple of years ago. Just thought I'd bring that up. For the trucks, yeah, I'm going to pick Corey Heim. I'm going to be extremely boring. I'm going to pick Heim at IRP. So let's move on to the Xfinity Series. Remember, if I remember correctly, the Xfinity Series runs the Super Speedway package like they did last year. So it's not quite like the Indianapolis for the Cup Series where you got to brake, you got to actually drive the car a little bit more. That sounds bad when I say it, but remember, they had a fantastic race, and Riley Herbst had to wheel that thing to the win. So in terms of Indianapolis, you got to factor that in, that it is kind of like a super speedway. I would say it's more similar to Atlanta, where the Xfinity Series, yes, they have a pack racing, but it does kind of get spread out sometimes. So it's kind of a super speedway. So, all right, let's hear it after we go through the notable entries. First notable entry, Kyle Larson was supposed to be in the booth at Indianapolis for the CW on the Xfinity Series. He is now driving the Hendrick Motorsports number 17 car. Eric Almirola is in the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing car. Then we come down the list. Catherine Legg is going to be at Indianapolis. Remember, she does have some experience. She has run in the Indy 500. 35 car, once again, driven by at 125 years old. Going down, looking for more significant entries, we have, that's it. Cool. That is it. So, everyone make your pick. David says Kyle Larson sweeper. Cameron going with another Connor Zilisch victory. Pastel Ninja K going with some redemption for Eric Almirola after coming so close last year. Zero Apex is going to go with Burton. Jamie is going to go with the 125-year-old in the number 35 car. Nee is going with Justin Allgaier, I'm assuming. Is that what that means? I'm assuming. Justin Allgaier in the Hellman Spicy Mayo car. I prefer my mayo normal. Spicy, I'm not a spicy fan. In between the lanes is going to go with William Sawalich. We just talked about if Sawalich can put it together at a random track, pick up that win, that could be our wild card to kind of burst the playoff bubble in the Xfinity Series. Well, in between the lanes is going to go with Zilisch. Jamie's going to go with Zilisch. Jamie changing the pick after saying the 125-year-old would win it. Now going with Connor Zilisch. For Indianapolis for the Brickyard Xfinity race. I'm going to go boring again. I'm going to go Kyle Larson. I know it's an odd package. It's a weird package, but I'm just going to go Larson at Indy. Feels right. I know that the Indy 500 went horrible for him this year, but I don't know. Sure. Why not? Let's do it. Ready for the Cup Series? Cup Series, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get to the Cup Series, I want to bring up a fun and interesting news story. Any guesses? All right. We have a Monday pick that if you know it, you know it. That's great. That's cool. Anyone got a Monday pick for who the Grand Marshal will be on Sunday? The person or for who is going to say the command? Who's going to say driver start your engines? Does anyone know who that's going to be? Monday picks. Let's hear it. Who do you think is going to say the command for the Brickyard 400 on Sunday? Pastel Ninja K keeps up with NASCAR news because it is the Cookie Monster. This is not fake. This is not Daily Downfords. This is the real life Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 285,000 followers on the Twitter. The Cookie Monster is giving the command on Sunday for the Brickyard 400. I could really go for a cookie right now that you mention it. Man, that sounds good. A cookie. If I had a cookie right now, like in my kitchen, I'm not even kidding. I would go to the kitchen and get a cookie right now just because of this. Anywho, I had to bring that up. We will bring this up last. Back to the entry list. Cup Series entry list. Let's look at the significant entry list first. Clausen Z, in between the lanes. Jamie, it was a great attempt, great guess, but it was incorrect. And Pastel Ninja K, yeah, maybe he'll say drivers start your cookies. You know, I don't know. It's kind of like going to my grandma's house. Every once in a while, she's got some cookies ready and great cookies. Like, who doesn't love a good cookie? I got a great aunt who makes like the best cookies ever. Thought a great opportunity to bring that up, but oof. Every time she brings cookies over, I eat like, I don't know, 6, 7. I eat too many, but they're so darn good. So, anywho, they're so good. I love those cookies. Aunt Carlene's cookies are so good. Anywho, Cup Series entry list. Significant entries. First of all, if you're a longtime Cup Series fan, you got a favorite driver. Everyone look at the entry list, look at the sponsors, know what paint scheme you're going to run this week. Notable entries. We got some at the bottom. I know that, like the 62. Jesse Love will be driving the 62 car. Josh Bilicki in the 66. Catherine Legg in the 78. I believe that's our only significant entries. In terms of sponsors, Daniel Suarez in the Freeway Insurance car. Shane Van Gisbergen, unsponsored. No, I'm just kidding. They just haven't put it in yet. Like I don't know what it's going to be. It could be a new sponsor. It could be like Quad Lock or something that they haven't announced yet. It could be WeatherTech, and they just didn't feel like putting it on the entry list. Like, I don't know. Ryan Preece with Castrol, the engine. Ty Gibbs with SAIALTL Freight, so the red and white 54 car. Let's go to the 10 car. What's he running? Seabest, that's his normal paint scheme. Napa Auto Parts, Zone. All right, let's hear it. Cameron's going to go with Chastain to win. And wow, Cameron's going with an all-time day for Trackhouse. Chastain win, SVG and Suarez top 10. And remember, the Brickyard 400 is a crown jewel. Ross Chastain won his first crown jewel just a couple of months ago. So you're going for his second crown jewel in just a single season and his career. All right. David's going to go with William Byron. In between the lanes, going with Austin Dillon. I tell you what, man. When that caution came out and I saw Austin Dillon P2 with an opportunity to get fresh tires, I was like, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The random Austin Dillon win a year. It's happening at Dover. It happened at Texas in 2020. It happened at Richmond in 2024. It happened at Charlotte in 2017. Then we've had a couple Daytonas in there. But it's always the most random, unexpected racetrack when we get the random Austin Dillon win a year. I thought for sure it was Dover. Obviously, it didn't happen. But for a few minutes there, I thought it was going to be Dover. Jamie's going with Christopher Bell. Nia's going with Ty Dillon, not only to win the in-season challenge, but to win the race. Zero Apex is going to go with Bowman. Ooh, Pastel Ninja K is going to go either Briscoe or Keselowski. Keep me updated on that. I need to pick Pastel in Ninja K. In between the lanes, does point out that it's Briscoe's home track. That is true. I think he'll be extra motivated this week. And remember, usually the way it goes, if you run really well at Pocono, the Brickyard is kind of similar, and you run really well there. Think Jeff Gordon. He always ran well at both. Jimmy Johnson always ran well at both. So if you run well at Pocono, probably going to run well at Indy. And remember who won at Pocono? Chase Briscoe. Something to keep in mind. Pastel Ninja K says, I want the cool story, so Briscoe, but my heart wants Denny, of course, with the Denny Hamlin profile picture. In between the lanes says Briscoe is using his Pocono car. I mean, as I said, back in the day, I'm talking like 5 years ago, it used to be if you were really good at Pocono, you were really good at Indy. I would think it's the same. 2.5 mile, fast tracks, long straightaways. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's how it always went. If you were good at Indy, you were going to be good at Pocono too. Or vice versa. So, I got my pick. I'm ready when you are. I could go fun and I could go and pick the in-season challenge. I could say, I think Ty Dillon's going to win that and win the race. Let's be realistic here. I don't think Ty Dillon's winning the race, and we will get to our Monday picks for the in-season tournament. But for the race, we talked about it earlier. This guy's on a hot streak recently. He's really put together a string of races. They have looked like their form for the first time that they are on top form in 3 years. They have won a race now after going over a year without a race win. They had a hot summer a few summers ago where they won 3 races in the summer. Not saying they're going to win 3 races in the summer again, but I'm going with the redemption after falling short at Dover. I think they win at Indianapolis. Chase Elliott is my Monday pick for the Brickyard 400. Ran really well in this race before a penalty, if I remember correctly. So Jamie's going to change their pick to Blaney. Okay. Noted. And now, for the last time in 2025, we have to pick our in-season challenge advancer. We have been doing rapid fire Monday picks for our in-season challenge winner, where we will rapid fire, we'll do a drum roll and all that. We're going to do it one more time. So for one last time in 2025, rapid fire Monday picks. On one end, we have Ty. Please vote. Who do you think wins? Ty or Ty? Oh, I guess I should specify. One of them's Ty Dillon, one of them's Ty Gibbs. But for the final time in 2025, the in-season challenge, the in-season tournament, Monday picks, rapid fire Monday picks. Go! All right. Let's see this thing. In between the lanes is going to go with Ty Dillon to win $1 million. $1 million on the line. Pastel Ninja K specifies that Ty Dillon is the GOAT and is going to win $1 million. David is going against that GOAT, though, and is going with Ty Gibbs. Ty Dillon is Jamie's pick. Ty Dillon is Nee's pick. Ty Dillon is a popular pick, ladies and gentlemen, as Brock is going to go with Ty Dillon. Cameron going to go against the popular vote and is going to go with Ty Gibbs. Jamie says Ty wins it all. Jamie, you are smart. I guarantee you win. In Between the Lanes says, sorry, that is Tyrone Dillon, not Ty Dillon. So who else? Anyone else? Any other picks? Monday picks for the in-season challenge. Ty Dillon, Ty Gibbs. Who is going to be $1 million richer on Sunday? Pastel Ninja K. That's a good one. I just don't want this to end in a tie. That's a smart one. My Monday pick for the in-season challenge, I'm going to go with Ty. Just gut feeling says Ty. All right, for real though. I picked against him at Sonoma. It went horribly wrong. I can't go against him again, baby. We're running with it. He's made it this far. If he wins this thing, I'm buying merch. In-season tournament winner. Ty Dillon to win $1 million. The 32 seed to champion colleague racing. Ty Dillon. I'm going with Ty Dillon. It's just too fun of a story to pick against. So Ty Dillon to win $1 million, to shock the world, to do something special here. Ty Dillon should just wreck Gibbs. I think they might take action against that knee, but if they make some phone calls, someone else does it. But I just really hope it comes down to the last lap. And if there's a scenario where it can be like for the win, that would be even funnier. Remember, Ty Dillon's won at the Brickyard in the Xfinity Series. It was 11 years ago, but he's won at the Brickyard in the Xfinity Series. So I think it would be really fun to see Ty Dillon win the $1 million. So I'm going to go with him. So, anywho. One last thing of note. We have the... No, Brock, not me. I would have never guessed that it was going to be these two. We have the baseball game, the MLB game at Bristol Motor Speedway in just a couple of weeks. The Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds. They did some cool helmet designs where they kind of gave them racer checkered flag pattern stripes on the helmets. And then also their jerseys. They gave them racing kind of fonts on the jersey. Atlanta, the Braves got the flame hat going. The Reds got the checkered flag pattern hat, and then once again the racing numbers. So that's going to be really cool. I was at Bristol in the spring where they kind of had the lines painted out. In fact, I could pull up. I'll pull up a picture on my phone. How about that? I will pull up a picture on my phone from Bristol. Give me a second. If I have a picture of it. Well, I got this picture that, like where they had this painted. The Speedway Classic kind of painting. But let me get to the... I have so many pictures on my phone from my photography. It was like the first picture I took when I was at the track. Pictures of Michael Jordan. I still can't believe that's a real thing. A couple freaking pictures of Michael Jordan on my phone that I took. Anywho, I'm getting distracted. I'm almost there, guys. I promise. I'm almost there. Here we go. All right. Here's home plate. Here, I'm the umpire behind home plate at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll do this for Monday picks before Iowa. We'll pick who wins the baseball game. But there you go. There's from Bristol in the spring. Anywho, just thought that was a really cool story. Really cool that they got the racing themed going. Anywho, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching along, for making your Monday picks with me. A lot of Ty Dillon picks, a few Ty Gibbs picks, of course. Making our Monday picks for the Brickyard. We have a crown jewel upcoming this weekend. We've got our in-season championship. Really excited. We got a triple header. We got the trucks at IRP as well, the Xfinity at the Brickyard too. So thank you guys for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week for the Monday after, but of course, any news that drops this week, we'll make a video on. And then, of course, we got our race recap for the Cup Series. And if anything comes to note in Xfinity or truck, we will talk about it as well. So thank you guys again for joining. Have a great rest of your night or morning or